We're looking for reasons why TV ratings are down in the NFL all over the place. The way this game has been officiated is not something anybody wants to watch.
Commissioner, why is it so fashionable for everyone to say your game is suddenly boring and the Monday night ratings are going down? They keep writing about that.
Why do you think ratings are down?
Because the league isn't fun anymore. You know, there used to be some hilarious dance moves that you can't do anymore.
The new taunting rule. Some people say it really has come about because of your antics on the field, about how you get all excited after you sack a quarterback. Do you take blame for that new rule?
The rule, really, if you want to know my true feelings, shouldn't have been put in, but it's a 5-yard penalty if I do the dance out on the field.
Television ratings have been down. How much do you attribute to the idea that there's new media taking eyeballs off of the television and onto other things?
There are a lot of factors to be considered. We don't make excuses. We look at it and we try to figure out what's changing.
We're in a bad situation. College football, like the NFL, is suffering. The television ratings, as you know, are down, and it's undoubtedly the glut of football.
In 2016, we heard an awful lot about how football was dying. But you know what? They've said that before, too. In fact, it was said in a year when the NFL record book was practically rewritten.
Art Monk has just broken the record for receptions. Charlie Joyner is the all-time leading receiver.
During a year that wasn't just great on the football field, you might go as far as to say it's one of the greatest years in modern civilization. I'm talking about the totally awesome year of 1984.
1984, party!
I look back on it, and it was a pretty special year.
1984. I'm sorry, I don't remember 1984.
What I remember, I loved.
It definitely seemed like 1984 was the most famous year of the 80s.
Why was 84 so big? To find that answer, you need to start by going back nearly 40 years earlier in a book that envisioned a much less tubular year.
It won't be difficult to remember the numbers 1984 when the new year begins. We've known about 1984 since 1948, when George Orwell penned his warning to a free society.
I mean, in some ways, 1984 is the central year of the 80s because of the George Orwell book. So when we got to 1984, there was just an avalanche of stories that were like, oh, did Orwell's vision come true?
Our continuing look at George Orwell's 1984, his vision, fact or fiction?
Orwell predicted that this would be a year of constant wars and very few personal freedoms.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
No, our liberty wasn't caged in 1984. When the year finally arrived, if Big Brother was watching, he wouldn't have seen a dystopian world, but instead, the glory days of American society.
Fashion sense was all over the place, really. I mean, you had Flock of Seagulls, and you had Duran Duran, and you had some wild hairstyles.
You had the Jerry curl.
I knew you were going to ask me that. I knew. I mean, mullets were big. I was sporting one.
I had my big fro going. I was, you know.
I've been drinking a lot of champagne lately.
I think I look pretty good.
How'd I answer that? Was that all right? Yeah.
Chicks were all into like the neon thing, and the Jane Fonda look was a big deal.
Aerobics workout. Everyone was like in the streets with the aerobics look.
Now that 1984 was arguably the best year ever for pop music.
The
videos are now selling records. They are making the hits.
MTV made it so that you could break an artist as a promotional tool is unbelievable.
I want my MTV!
Sports sold 10 million records, but so did Bruce Springsteen's record, Madonna's record, Lionel Richie's record, Prince's record.
I love Prince! I love Prince!
Purple Rain, the biggest selling album of 1984, also turned Prince into a movie star.
Purple Rain is going to be the biggest movie.
Prince had some pretty stiff box office competition. I mean, just look at the roster of films, and you'll see 1984 was the year when modern filmmaking came of age.
84, I remember I started working with John Hughes and what became what I refer to as the Puberty on Film trilogy. 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, and Weird Science.
Theater managers love these kinds of movies. Look at the lines.
To be a part of it was amazing. You know, it's just a little skinny punk kid from New York feeling like, wow, this is incredible.
And what was happening on the small screen was pretty incredible, too.
And this was also an era right before the cable explosion, right, where appointment television still mattered, right?
For many, their Friday night appointment was with Crockett, Tubbs, and Miami Vice.
Whoa, wait a second. Do you have any idea what you're dealing with?
What's trending today, in many ways, mirrors what was happening back then. Like today, the Cubs were playing great baseball in 1984. And back then, America had just gone through a rough election.
I'm reminded of that ad. Where's the beef?
Why do the two of you call the 1984 presidential election the most deplorable ever?
The candidates specialized in sort of cheap shots. Their managers were even worse.
So were you too dispirited to go through another one?
Oh, no. It's got to be better.
Even then, Donald Trump was disrupting the establishment as an owner in spring football's USFL. So, now that we've ridden this huge wave of nostalgia, it's hard to deny 1984 was the most fun year ever, right?
Maybe everybody was in a good mood around about 1984 because the year had arrived and Orwell had promised that we were doomed by 84, and when we realized it wasn't that bad, it made us all glass half full.
Actually, not everyone saw it that way. You know that nickname for the NFL, No Fun League? That entered our vernacular around 1984. And though you may not remember it now, in 84, second to Where's the Beef, this was the question being asked.
What's wrong with the NFL? Oh, my goodness. This was 84?
I have no idea what that is. I never even saw it. What's wrong with the NFL?
What's crazy is I don't even remember that. I mean, I don't remember that being on the cover.
I didn't know. No, I don't remember that. But I mean, you know, what's wrong with the NFL? I thought you were going to show me Lawrence Taylor and I. On that one, I thought, what's wrong with the NFL?
There were a lot of negative reviews about that season for the NFL, but really there was a lot of records being broken. There was a lot of excitement in the league. So maybe people just forget.
This is where our fun story takes a wrong turn. Because as you'll see, in 1984, some thought the NFL's bubble was about to burst.
Television football is not the moneymaker it used to be. Are you prepared for the possibility that next year when the contract runs out, you might be facing a pay cut?
The NFL, in a lot of ways, you always think that you're above everything, and then all of a sudden you find out you got the same problems everybody else has got.
We have problems, financial problems, because of the 25 to 30% escalation in player salaries every year. Compounded, if it continues, it'll put, I think, all clubs in the league in a loss position in 86.
1984 was the season that saved football. But in order to understand the landscape of the NFL heading into 84, you need to go back a few years.
We're going to do another documentary on pro football in the 80s. What to you were the significant events of the 80s, the National Football League?
Well, there are a lot of negative ones, unfortunately.
You are looking live at an empty Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh.
Players of the National Football League will be on strike.
One of the most exciting and dramatic events that's happened in the field of sports in a long time.
It's the birth of a new league, a new professional football league.
I think the USFL is going to be booming in 2-3 years, and definitely it's going to give the NFL a race for the money.
If ever there was someone who needed a second take, it was Pete Rozelle in the early 80s. As if the strike and the USFL weren't bad enough, the league was fighting amongst itself.
The primary conflict was Al Davis against Pete Rozelle.
Stability is in jeopardy because Al Davis no longer wishes to play by Rozelle's rules.
We believe in stability of franchises. We think that's part of the success of the league over the last 65 years, but we're in a bad situation.
Al Davis was a cutthroat son of a...
Every great, I'm not talking about a good leader now, every great leader has some ruthlessness to him, and you have to use it at times.
Rozelle was an incredibly nice guy who got along with everybody, and Davis set out to move his team without asking any of his partners for permission.
I said that clearly that was against the Constitution, and that would put us on opposite sides.
And that's what led to the huge lawsuits.
So Rozelle and Davis are in the middle of this feud. And what happens? In the spring of '82, Davis moves the Raiders to Los Angeles, who then go ahead and win the Super Bowl.
Touchdown Raiders! I don't believe it! Holy Toledo!
Let us start out with the trophy presentation for Tom Flores and Al Davis. And here's the commissioner, Pete Rozelle. Pete?
Well, the Raiders, I think everyone would say, beat a fine football team today.
I'm giving that Super Bowl trophy, and Al's on one side and Pete's on the other. Trust me, both of them wanted out of there as quickly as they could. They did not want to be standing there talking with one another, okay? So there was tension in the air. I mean, I could feel it.
Put together a great, great football team, and they sure showed it today. Congratulations.
Oh, and remember that lawsuit the Raiders filed against the NFL? The courts ruled that it was a violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act for the league to try to stop the Raiders from moving. So they won that too.
Just win, baby.
Once the NFL lost to Al Davis and the Raiders moved down, that opened the door.
The Baltimore Colts, once one of the proud names in big-time football, have been known recently for losing seasons and betting scandals. So now they're moving on. More accurately, they're sneaking out of Baltimore, headed for Indianapolis.
I was just disturbed because they were negotiating with me, and then I pulled one of these tricks, so I said, one trick deserves another. So we played a little trick on that, we packed on the left.
Suddenly, a guy like Robert Irsay could simply thumb his nose at the league and take advantage of the space that Al Davis had made, and did.
The last of the trucks left in the dreary gray of morning.
Everything's gone.
He told you absolutely the deal is made and the Colts are going to Indianapolis.
Yes.
Now we were kind of in this instability time, you know, with the Raider move, the Colt move, and it was very troubling.
The Colts had turned the league upside down.
Any day now, Pro Football's Philadelphia Eagles are expected to announce that they're flying the coop and moving west to Phoenix.
The Eagles never moved, but the Jets did, to New Jersey.
Shea Stadium was always the Jets' home. You felt like you were among friends there, not here.
They're big fans. They've been fans, and then all of a sudden, we just up and leave. They were very, very distraught.
At the moment, the city's best hope for a team to replace the Jets would appear to be the New Jersey Generals of the new Football League, who were just recently purchased by builder Donald Trump, and he says when he builds things, they don't come in over cost estimates.
Thanks, David.
The USFL was now looking like a viable alternative to the NFL. They started throwing around money and signing players and causing real problems for the league.
It was so much hype around the USFL, you know, getting players, and, you know, some guys were making great money, other guys were making nothing. I think they were taking away some of the flair from the National Football League.
Eric Dickerson was always second to Herschel in college, and he's second to him in the pros. And as Herschel said, maybe he's our best promoter, but just put me on a field with him. I'll challenge him to any contest if you want.
Herschel Walker will become pro football's highest paid player in history, reportedly at least twice as much as Chicago Bear Walter Payton's $700,000 annual salary.
It was good for us. It was competition.
Look, you know, wages were low at the time. We were nowhere near where we should be, given the revenues that were generated. And it was the USFL that helped get us to another level.
One of the first players to benefit from the escalating salaries was the Jets' Mark Gastineau.
I think that Donald Trump helped me get a new contract, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
The richest defensive lineman in the NFL was also the most colorful.
Come on, let's go! We're gonna kill him! Go nuts! Get your faces in the mud!
I had to play against Mark a few times, and he was, let's just say, a very interesting character.
He was a character. He'd come strolling in. He'd watch all the games, and we'd put him over the air every now and again.
The new taunting rule, some people say it really has come about because of your antics on the field, about how you get all excited after you sack a quarterback. Do you take blame for that new rule?
Well, I take partial blame for the rule. I think that the rule, really, if you want to know my true feelings, shouldn't have been put in, but it's something that I have had all off seasons to deal with and learn how to deal with it. When they put that rule in, that was just a rule that was like, what's going on?
You knew it had to happen. There is a rule about taunting and baiting, and you knew with that dance that he does, it had to happen sooner or later.
You sack the quarterback, that is the most exciting thing that you can possibly ever do. I just did what came natural, and that was to do something, a celebration. It was like, you know, just do a little dance, that's all.
So after all that, after the franchise moves and the Gastineau rule and all the craziness, the 1984 season finally kicks off. And who plays the first game in Indianapolis against the Colts? Of course, it's the Jets.
I got my first sack, and there was a lot of pressure on me, you know, not to show the emotion that I had always had.
Gastineau's line, 4 sacks, 0 dances. You know these Miami montages you see anytime anybody does anything in Miami? Well, you know why they do them? It started back in 1984. That was the year Miami became the place to be.
I was on the cover of Sports Illustrated with Bernie Kosar, the opening cover for '84, and I had my big fro going. And so did Bernie, by the way. He had the same kind of haircut. You know, as a kid growing up, I was a sports fan, and I was like, man, I'm on the cover. It was cool.
Marino proved worthy of the attention in the first game of 1984 by throwing 5 touchdowns against the Redskins.
Marino back to throw. He will fire it down the far side. Caught by Duper at the 50. Down to the 40. He may go.
But more attention was coming Miami's way just 2 weeks later with the debut of Miami Vice on NBC.
Crockett and Tubbs kind of really, I guess, you know, sprung Miami, you know, on the scene as being the place to be.
What have you done for Miami?
I think that we've shown how beautiful and that we have a tropical paradise right here on the mainland.
You know, everybody wants a little piece of heaven here.
Which wasn't always the case. Prior to 1984, Miami had an image problem.
We must try harder to tell the world that Miami and its beaches are more fun and sun than coke and crime.
With the help of Marino and Miami Vice, Miami's image had made a turn.
Miami's very happy. Good food, expensive cars, beautiful women.
Everybody dressed differently, almost immediately. We went to clubs that were different than they had been before.
Miami Vice was the brainchild of Brandon Tartikoff, who was director of programming at NBC. Famously, what he said was MTV Cop Show, and that's what Miami Vice was.
Michael Mann, who created Miami Vice, he brought music and colors and cinematography all to bear, probably for one of the first times.
We want to give them something that's a little more than just another cop show.
I bought me a Testarossa because of Miami Vice. I got the white Testarossa, had Shark 29 on the plates.
There was a couple posters that were out. We took a bunch of pictures on the beach at a Ferrari, trying to look good.
Here's the director from Miami Vice who's going to direct us.
Pleasure to be here in Miami. And they said whatever time they can get you, just for 10 minutes.
Marino looked the part off the field and played the part on it.
Who's the best quarterback in the NFL?
You would want me to say me, right?
What a year Marino's having. 17 touchdown passes in 6 games.
It was kind of entwined in a lot of ways. You know, Miami became the cool place in America. The Dolphins became the cool team to play for.
"3,000 miles away, a star was being born in Los Angeles.
I don't think I need all the big, luxuries of life. Not right now. I'm not into that. Now, maybe later now, it might change. But right now, I'm low-key.
But in a city like L.A., low-key is, relative.
L.A. was really popping. It was big.
Going to clubs, I see Eric out and stuff, and yeah, he was a lady killer. You always had him around.
I got a question for you on a completely different topic.
Women? I met Eddie Murphy. I met Prince. I shook Prince's hand. He's a little bitty guy, and he had a strong handshake, and I was shocked. It kind of caught me off guard because he was so small. I'm like, this guy got a strong handshake.
I think I'm gonna just follow along in Prince's footsteps because he's been my personal idol for many, many years now, and I just can't wait until I too am Prince-like.
Dickerson was quickly becoming NFL royalty. Just 6 weeks into the '84 season, he had his sights set on the single-season rushing crown.
30, 25, he's gone. Eric Dickerson right up the middle. Wow, he is awesome.
Up the coast, the 49ers were answering the call for a star team. They started '84 6-0.
84 was amazing. We were like thinking, we know he's going to beat us. We're invincible. I was on the sidelines for all the home games, and it was fantastic. It's another ho-hum Giants 49er game.
Huey used to sing the national anthem a lot back when we first started, and I was always out on the field early, just getting out of the locker room. Are you playing here?
We played Pittsburgh last night, so now I was an hour away, and Dwight called me so I can
struck up a friendship from that point on.
The season that saved football was off to a good start. The torch was being passed to a new generation of stars. Everything was going great, right? Wrong.
Walter Payton, soon to be souvenir books. See Walter Payton break the record. Program. Who's next?
1984 was the year that saved pro football. On October 7th, Walter Payton was set to break Jim Brown's iconic career rushing mark.
Quick pitch to Walter, looking for the record, cuts back, he's got it! Walter Payton becomes the National Football League all-time leading rusher.
This should have been a coronation, right? But if we loop back to pregame footage, Sweetness's sweetest moment was really more of an afterthought.
The week that was to be his alone began for Walter Payton in the shadows, off by himself. As he searched for a different kind of daylight, stalking deer, all Chicago, it seems, set its sights on Wrigley Field and the Cubs, who were fighting for their first pennant since 1945.
Walter, that's exciting, but this is Cubs. 39 years we've waited for this.
I'm all set for Peyton doing it, and I'm sure he will this week, but it doesn't matter as much as the Cubs right now.
The Cubs finally being good was a big deal. Maybe even as big as Monday Night Football, which was really a big deal back then.
It was just like a part of a way of life in America. Everyone would look forward to it. You kind of build your dinner around it and whatever else.
The night after Payton set the rushing record, Monday Night Football featured a matchup of the NFL's best team, the 49ers, and the team from the biggest media market, the Giants.
He wanted to spike it, didn't he? He thought about it. Is this against the rules or what?
But on that night, America changed the channel to a TV movie starring Farrah Fawcett.
No, my bed isn't too hard.
The story of The Burning Bed was based on a nonfiction book, was a true story of a woman who'd been abused for many years, and she set a fire which killed her husband. So the thought was, guys are going to be watching football, do something where you get as many women as possible. Nobody really thought it was going to go through the roof. 75 million viewers watched all or part of it.
Cable was much less important. So a lot of people only had the 3 networks and PBS. So if people weren't watching football, they were going to watch something, and I guess it was going to be Farrah Fawcett burning a guy in a bed.
Over 1/3 of all U.S. households tuned in to The Burning Bed, and Monday Night Football recorded its lowest rating in history.
That's it. Don Meredith was here, he'd be singing, the party's over.
The league has become, in the minds of many, a series of mediocre teams with a bunch of double-knit coaches all in the same uniform with the same game plan. Does it have much of a future?
There will always be a place for the National Football League and a big place in the sports spectrum of this country. Because of a multiple number of factors, will it ever get the ratings that it used to get in the halcyon days? In my opinion, no.
The NFL also continued to have its space invaded by the upstart USFL.
In its second year, the USFL landed its biggest crowd. Numbers like that are bringing the league to Miami. City commissioners approved a deal this morning that should put a USFL team in the Orange Bowl by 1986.
Don Shula would like to come, Brent. He'd like to come to New York. One of the little obstacles is he'd like an apartment in a building that I have on Fifth Avenue called Trump Tower. And that's something that's more valuable than money.
We just bought this hotel 2-3 days ago. We did it for this news conference. We thought you people would...
Donald Trump and the USFL made plans to move to the fall.
If God wanted football in the spring, he wouldn't have created baseball.
Well, we had a good league, but I always said spring football will never work. It'll never be first class. And if you look at a building like this, it's 57th and 5th. It's the best location right next to Tiffany. And that's what I've been all about, doing the best. And spring football was not that. And I thought if we moved to the fall, we'd create tremendous problems for the NFL, and something would happen.
On October 17th, the USFL filed a $1 billion antitrust lawsuit against the NFL.
Do you see this as an attempt on their parts to maybe force a merger somewhere down the line?
That's all that Donald Trump and 2 or 3 of those immensely wealthy men have in mind.
Well, I would have liked to have been an NFL owner if I could have gotten in inexpensively. And frankly, this was a way of getting, as one alternative, into the NFL very inexpensively. So we're going to be around for a long time, fellas, and we're going to win our antitrust case. And good luck to everybody. Thank you very much. I hope the hotel's taking good care. Thank you very much.
Sports Illustrated capped the worst month in NFL history with a devastating diagnosis from Dr. Z.
Coaches like to tell you that they can't comment on a breakdown in a game until they look at the films. Well, Paul Zimmerman of Sports Illustrated is a writer who doesn't like to hit the typewriter until he looks at the films.
You know, the written word was king. We didn't have an internet back in the 80s.
This is pre-ESPN being gigantic, pre-explosion of media. When Sports Illustrated came out and made a pronouncement, the game is boring, it needs to be fixed, people in the NFL really paid attention. Football, it wasn't going down the tubes, but it had flatlined.
Zim, what is the state of the game today, the NFL?
I think football has gotten away from its essence, and its essence is a certain amount of toughness. I don't like corporate-type people. I don't like guys with hair dryers.
So when they came out and said, what's wrong with the NFL, everybody paid attention, especially all the television executives in New York. They started to get nervous, nervous. Hey, whoa.
Well, that kind of cover on Sports Illustrated is Pete Rozell's nightmare. This is the thing he wakes up in the middle of the night screaming about.
With the real Cabbage Patch doll, there's a lot more than meets the eye, especially when the doll meets an open flame. Its flame-retardant material will not catch fire. Not so the counterfeit, the phony doll. And before we could get the fire extinguisher working, we had to get the burning counterfeit out of this customs warehouse.
Sadly, that doll could not be saved. But after the worst month in their history, there was still hope for the NFL. People nationally might not have known it yet, but the NFL had real, genuine young talent. And stars always find a way to demand your attention.
Madonna was her debut, and she sang like a virgin and wore the white wedding dress, and then groveled on the floor with a white wedding dress.
And Madonna wasn't even really, she was just becoming popular.
I mean, we're talking about real celebrities in America. That's what you have to have. You have to build stars.
I know one thing, it's a God-given talent the way I run the football, but sometimes I look at film and it's like, man, I did that. I kind of amaze myself at some of the things I do.
As November 1984 became December, a constellation of NFL stars began to emerge.
I was 12 in 84, okay, so I was a kid. And when you're a kid, you love equipment. And Eric Dickerson wore the most equipment.
Well, he wears a lot of stuff. He got stuff on his wrists, his elbows, his neck. He's wearing glasses, new shoes.
And it did not seem to in any way impede the fluidity of his movement.
You're thought to have had a good year if you gain 1,000 yards. But when someone approaches 2,000 yards, then you're talking superstardom. And this year, you might be talking about Eric Dickerson.
And a brand new single-season rushing record for the outstanding star from Southern Methodist.
Greatness is its own reward. But then again, there's also gifts from sponsors.
This is a Lamborghini Countach. It's one of a kind. And Walter Payton, who's a car enthusiast, is one of a kind, too.
Like, wow, man, Walter got a Lamborghini, and it was big news. And what do I get for going over 2,000 yards? I get a carrot cake with candles like I'm 15 years old. What the hell is this? Is it a key in this cake somewhere?
Even though I'm not playing today on Sunday, I've got to take care of myself, so I've got to watch what I eat. I'm really frustrated that I'm not playing ball today. It almost makes me want to climb walls. I was obsessed with getting sacks. If I didn't get a sack, 1 week, I was like totally distraught, totally out of my game, out of everything, because I was totally focused, and everything focused around getting back to the quarterback. I can say this now in a humble way. I was such an outstanding player that I was doing things that nobody had ever done, and I didn't even know it. I'm from Oklahoma. The roof of my mouth got sunburned from gawking at the skyscrapers in New York.
Extra protection was no match for Mark Gastineau's blistering speed.
I run a 4.540, which is very fast for somebody my size, which is about 280 pounds right now, 6'5".
By season's end, neither quarterbacks nor sack records were left standing.
It was 22 sacks, right? Some people say it's never been broken. I'm kidding. I'm not.
Now, the NFC West can boast of having the dominant team in the conference and perhaps the entire league right now. The San Francisco 49ers blew Minnesota away yesterday. They are in a position to become the first team in NFL history to win 15 regular season games.
In December, the Dolphins and the 49ers became favorites to collide in the Super Bowl. And Dan Marino's arm, oh my.
I almost wanted to play quarterback. I wanted to be Dan Marino. And it was like, his release was just so fast.
I always like to look back on it and remember that I actually was pretty good.
Marino shattered the regular season touchdown record.
I was lucky enough to catch the one that broke the record. Well, I hadn't caught a touchdown pass in 2 years. Yeah, Jimmy got lucky. or maybe I was lucky I could throw it to Jimmy.
Marino, wide open field, throws for a touchdown, and there's the record. breaks the all-time NFL record. Marino will get the football.
When I look at '84, it really did change the perception of the league. I think it ushered in the stars of the National Football League. This is a game built on stars. Those are the folks that people pay money to see and sit around on a Monday night and stay up late to watch them play.
In Week 16, America was watching again as Marino tried to topple the Cowboys and another passing record.
Our PR guy mentioned to me that week before the game that I had a chance to throw for 5,000 yards, which was never done before.
Here is Marino, quick drop, throws for the sideline.
It's a great night. It was on Monday Night Football. I mean, everything was going our way.
Most touchdown passes, 48 regular season. Most yards gained, 5,084. Most passes completed, 362. Most 300-yard games with 9. Most 400-yard games with 4. Those are all NFL records for young Dan Marino.
Marino and the Dolphins garnered a 25 rating, the 6th highest in Monday Night Football's history, and surpassed by only 2 games since.
You look like a knight in armor.
Mobile telephones are in your future. If you don't have one now, you probably will have one in a decade, say the phone makers, such as this one, which fits into a suitcase. Price about $3,000 now.
The future. The possibilities. In 1984, second-year quarterback Dan Marino had an MVP award on his mantle and an opportunity to add a Super Bowl trophy.
Everybody would love to go to the Super Bowl, and that's something that I would really love to have an opportunity to do. And you know, maybe more than once even.
Now we're getting greedy.
By the end of 1984, the ascendance of Marino and the Dolphins helped the NFL to return to popularity and then some.
A mock football field has been constructed right in the middle of the hotel lobby, complete with a 15-foot model of the Goodyear blimp.
We're coming down the elevator to meet some of the other guys to go and have dinner. The door opened in the lobby and people saw Marino, and there was a surge. And a security guy jumped on board from the hotel and stopped it and pushed the basement. We went into the basement. The same thing happened. We finally wound up in the kitchen. And as the kitchen doors opened, all the chefs saw Marino, and this other surge came. And I finally looked at him and said, "Danny, I'll see you." And I just walked through the crowd. You know, he never showed up at dinner.
I saw him. What did he say? Nothing. He just said, "Where's my food?"
After cratering in the fall, the NFL's popularity was on the rise. Over 85 million Americans watched the game at home. Terry Hatcher was there as a cheerleader. Wait, what? Terry Hatcher? This game had a lot going for it.
You know, it's Marino, Montana, Bill Walsh, Don Shula. That was pretty special because I was like 23 years old. I mean, I think I'm still the youngest quarterback to start in the Super Bowl.
Marino, Johnson, touchdown Miami. This is the Miami offense that we have been anticipating.
And it's going to be the offense of the rest of the 80s and the 90s if they don't change a few rules.
They'd score, we'd score, went back and forth, and then we missed a beat and they just took off on us. And by the end of the half, that game was basically over. You know, I think in some ways, I look back and I look at this, I kind of took it for granted. I just figured, you know, this is what we're going to do every year. We didn't win, and I'm going to be back. You know, I'm going to be back to a Super Bowl again.
But the future never came for several things, including the USFL.
When the United States Football League filed an antitrust suit against the National Football League, it asked for damages of more than $1 billion. Everyone figured that the USFL had to win the suit and the money to survive. Well, tonight, the jury in the case delivered its verdict. It ruled the NFL did indeed monopolize pro football, but it awarded damages of just $1.
And the NFL did something very smart. they used me. I was just one owner of many. And they said, you know what, maybe we are guilty of this, essentially. But Donald Trump doesn't need the money. And the jury voted for Trump, but they said he doesn't need the money.
After the verdict, the USFL ceased operation.
Left without comment. So it was an interesting experiment, not a lot of money, not a big deal, worth a flyer. But in the end, I love the NFL.
A threat vanquished. Hope blossoming. What heroes did the NFL have to thank?
The stars brought the league back. They go through cycles. Right now, they're trying to replace Peyton Manning, one of the greatest of all times. Somebody will step out. Somebody will put a few years together. People go, oh, ho, ho, they're ready. No. And that decline that we're talking about in the 80s, look how brief it was. We're talking about a little period in time, and by the end of the year, and then the Bears take off in the next year, hey, there was nothing like it.
For sure, the game is saved by the players. I mean, that's what makes the game exciting.
Touchdown by Mark White.
You are looking live at 1984. A hell of a year.
You guys heard that Terry Hatcher was there, right?